rolling.
All right, I'm Pastor Curtis Anthony Rogers.
And where are we?
Oh, we're at the Chapel Rogers Drive Development Committee, 25 North Cicero in Chicago, Illinois. And I'm happy to be here with Sidebounds and Mike talking about the future and the present in our world.
So you've heard about the city has plans for a citywide wireless rollout. So did you hear about that, or where did you hear about it?
I heard about it, mentioning that they had a vision of having free internet citywide.
Mm-hmm.
So I heard about it and I thought it was very aggressive but doable.
As a community leader, where do you get your news?
Well, now I get my news actually on the internet. I go right to email, and Yahoo has all this news on there, so I get it from there. And then when I get home, I look at the BBC News, and also I read Black Pages now, as they have a lot of cutting-edge articles about things going on in the community. And also I read another paper called the Austin Voice.
So how, other than the ways you described, how do you use the internet, and how is technology a part of your daily life?
Well, technology right now is the foundation of everything we're doing as we try to revitalize the community and rebuild our community. One of the things that we do, we are part of the process of computer literacy, helping people to become computer literate, and we're bridging the gap from the digital divide. So technology is a part of our daily processes. We email, we do blogging. Blogging is the most powerful internet tool that I've ever seen. Sidebounds have brought technology here, and we've began to package that so that the persons now in our community who are starting businesses will start it with a technology foundation. And that kind of supersizes it. And about 10 years ago, I wrote a proposal to the city of Chicago, and I didn't know anything about blogging. But I told the city of Chicago that our center here, before it was built, was going to be a place where we would start businesses that would be able to reach city markets, governmental markets, national markets, and worldwide markets, and not just depend on a couple signs in the window of a retail store.
So what does it mean to be, let's say, both a consumer and a producer for the internet, which is a media, as we talked about earlier?
Well, I think it's just a way of life, Mike. We have to be both. In the African American community, we have known and have been known as just a consumer nation. I'm going to take a pencil and I'm going to erase all that. We're going to play the game. We're not just going to be the consumers, but we're also going to be the movers and shakers and users, and everybody's going to make money in order to survive and revitalize our community. So it's just a blessed thing that people who are only consumers now can take a part in the economic wealth of their area and take advantage of the opportunities in their area through blogging, through the internet, and through technology.
So in your family life, in your family life today, is there different levels of use of technology for different members of your family, your extended family?
Oh yeah.
And
like my small children, they play the games, and yet because their mother and father are so involved in technology, my sons also blog. They also email. They do their homework on the internet. They look at their news or whatever kind of things they do on the internet. And then my wife's business, everything she does is online. The community center here is online. My ministry is online, Curtis Rogers Ministries, Chapel Rogers Faith Memorial Church of God in Christ. We do webcasting, we do audio blogs. It's so much. It's just a part of the small kids' life as well as the big kids' life, me being one. So everybody's having fun with it, and I think it's just a blessing.
in terms of the general or mass media, how can they do a better job, or what do you think of them, or how does that relate to the internet now?
Well, the mass media is a wonderful thing also. The Bible calls it the Great Sea. Things rise and fall, things are under the water, things are above the water. It's a part of life. You're not going to get away from it. The internet is media also. It's masser than the mass media because it allows any person to, go on and express themselves. So the mass media is a thing that really people need to discuss because before, when they had pictures, movies, and people going to movies, then television came out, and the people who were involved in movies were very concerned, and there became a great war between theater and also television. But on down the line, a few years later, they found out that it was just a natural progression of things. And now theater and television have merged, and they're still surviving. So the mass media and internet, eventually there's going to be a merging and a common ground where they'll begin to understand each other and begin to, deal with each other on a greater basis so everybody can use what they need to use and do what they got to do.
What are the most pressing issues in your community, and what strategies do you think would be that we should follow to help redress those?
Okay, there are many pressing issues in our community. Number one, the graying of our community. Number two, the lack of participation of the people in the community in commerce. Number three, we have a tremendous unemployment rate, a tremendous recidivism rate. We have an infant mortality rate that is still high. We have so many issues. There's a disconnect with the city and our community. People, because they don't own and don't take part of the economic strata in our community, they feel they don't have to really participate, and they don't count. So this community center here is not more than a community center. It is actually a development center. And because it's a development center, the CRDDC is developing strategies in order to empower people to be economically self-sufficient through job training, entrepreneurship training, and the development of strategies that help people to better their lives. So the more organizations such as ours, and our organization actually was started by our church, because in our communities you cannot separate the church from the community. It's just like taking the yolk out of an egg, and all you have is a white there. So you got to keep the church and community together, because from the church all the other ideas and synergies and all those things that make development healthy flow from the church, because the people in the church are the people in the community. So in our area, we merge both church, community, city, municipalities, and try to answer these pressing questions that affect our community today.
So this center is named after your father?
Yes.
So you've got a legacy of service to the community and your family. Maybe you could speak for a moment on that.
Oh yeah. I've seen the major politicians of our time come through my father's organization with Christian Action Ministry. And I used to work at Christian Action Ministry. I saw Christian Action Ministry when it went out of business and fell into the hands of other people. And our family has been on the cutting edge. Matter of fact, in 1968, when the Martin Luther King riots happened, my father and my mother moved all of their children, including me, over into the riot area, which was a great shock to us, because we were young kids and we were on the south side. Everything was nice and pleasant. But there were people in our community, in our church, who didn't have the opportunity to actually move out of the city. They were trapped here in the devastation. So my father, being a pastor and a community leader, decided to set an example. He said, instead of running to Mississippi or St. Louis or New York to get out of the war-torn area after the riots, that we would move in to prove that you could raise a family here on the west side of Chicago and prosper. And then he prayed a prayer over the church that no young person in the church would die in all of the warfare and social upheaval in our area. And to this day, not one young person in our church has died, including myself. I'm still here. So my father set a standard that we should live in the community, that we should make the community better. And here I am after his death, carrying on and trying to do my part to make sure that our community, you know, survives and becomes a greater part of the city of Chicago, and people can really enjoy their lives here. And we're beginning to see community development, but I would like to see more ownership of African Americans in their own area. So that's what we're striving for here. We're striving to meet our three deliverables, and our three deliverables now are participation, ownership, and profitability. We must participate, we must own, and we must profit from our area, and that will make the community live.
Thank you very much.